So someone was like, so you Princess Daweti? I'm like, yeah, so? Dude, you're such a big thing. You are Princess Daweti? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Princess Daweti. So guys, we're continuing with the series, and today I am having another special guest, one of my classmates. And again, guys, my classmates are so cute. Look at the complexion. She also looks like my child.
Look
like
at her.
why are all
beautiful.
of you looking like my baby?
Beautiful.
Why are all of you looking like my baby?
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I am Leigh-Ann and I am so excited to be a part of this series. It's a cool series, it's awesome, and I feel like it's also gonna be, I know we haven't really gotten into it yet, but it's so informative.
Okay.
So my Instagram handle is at got too many nicknames. I almost forgot it. At got too many nicknames, and that is where you'll find me.
Guys, anyway, Leigh-Ann has also a photography page, so I'm also gonna link like all her details down in the description box. Please do check her out. I'm gonna link her Instagram handles and her photography handles, and also she has a YouTube channel with her sister. I'm also gonna link it down in the description box, and that's where you can find Leigh-Ann. And so on today's episode, we are talking about how important is it for you to look after your mental health in university, because it gets real, and I feel like it's a thing that everybody goes through in university. So that's why I felt that it's very much important to just talk about this. But before we can get into the topic, I just want us to unpack like the words mental health. Like, what is mental health, or what do you understand about the concept of mental health? So you want to go first?
No, you can start. You can start. It's fine.
So guys, my definition now for me, it's connotative definition. Guys, I'm a graduate. I need to like bring out the juices, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's a connotative meaning. Connotative is something that I associated with, because denotative, it's like denotative, yes, is a definition from the dictionary and stuff like that. You learned something today. Yeah, so for me, I feel like mental health has to do with like the condition, how you shape your mentality towards certain things, how you respond to certain things, like how something that someone says could negatively affect your health,
your well-being, your mental well-being.
Yes, your mental well-being. And there's also mental wealth. So mental wealth has everything to do with like the knowledge that you put in within your mentality, which goes hand in hand with what we're doing here, because we're trying to improve your own mental wealth.
Mental health, to me, is that thing that carries me through every and any kind of day. My mental state, my mental well-being, how I feel, and how I get affected by it. So that's my kind of, I wouldn't say it's a definition, but it's what I understand.
Yes, your understanding of it. Yes.
Health, not wealth, I'm sorry.
Yes. How important is it to look after your mental health in university?
Guys, we know you get to varsity or university, you want to live a soft life, you want to experience everything, and sometimes while we are trying to experience everything, we kind of forget what it is to look after ourselves.
True.
Ourselves include mental health, emotional health, physical, health. It's like everything is intertwined with your mental health. That's so important. So to me, it is of a if you don't look after your mental health, it can have a detrimental effect on your physical well-being. So when you get to varsity, for example, you are fresh, you are new, you're from a new space, you are like from home, back home,
and everything is exciting because independence,
everything. And now all of a sudden, here you are, it's a new space. You decide, no, I'm gonna live a soft life, I want to do everything, but then you forget to look after yourself, and that is when you can get your stress, your anxieties, I can't get the word, but then you like experience a burnout, you know, because you decided.
That's so true, because as well it can also be very hard for you to adjust, like the transition from home to like university, because I know for a fact, as even for me, it was very hard for the transition, because when I was home, I was used to everything being done for me. I'm used to my mom like dropping me in town and picking me up. Now I have to go and catch a taxi, you know. I was used to a house that is full of everything on the fridge, to now my things like ending in the middle of the month, and I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Who am I gonna call to say I need food, I need A, B, C, and D? So things like that, because now you suffer alone, because as well it's very hard in varsity when you are also calling people like a family or any relative, for example, even your parents. It's very hard to say to them, I'm running out of A, B, C, and D, I need this, because they know how university students are, because probably you don't need that money for food, you want that money for, you know, groove and whatsoever. So it's very hard for them to understand. And then now it's also going to be very hard for you to prove to them that, you know, this is what I need this thing for. So people always see it fit, or they say it best to just keep quiet. So in that quietness, that's when you're feeding off the negativity in your mind now, and then that's when your mental health is just at a standstill at that point. But guys, like this is very a tricky.
It's a tricky situation, because now you are suffering in silence, and you are, sometimes I believe, I could be wrong, you guys can comment, but like sometimes parents could be like, all that I want you to do is focus on your books.
True.
You're not there to have fun, you're not there to experience the whole student life thing. And I don't actually want to place so much emphasis on just like having fun and stuff. Like your mental health can also be affected when you are just focused on your academics, because it gets tough.
Yes.
You can stress about assignments, you can stress about tests, you can legit just stress about being on varsity and how am I going to make it. And like I said beforehand, it really does have, if you do not look after your mental health, and the importance of it is that you should like have, I feel like I'm already jumping the topic.
No, it's
but
fine.
like the importance of it is just to look after your well-being, because I always make this example of via the day when you decide to go work and you have your job, you're gonna walk in and you're gonna do your job and you're gonna move out. But if you put all of your energy in your job and you get sick one day and you're off for 2 months, the job is gonna go on.
True.
You're gonna stay behind. You have to heal. They can just, you can always be replaced.
Exactly.
So that is like an important thing to think about. Like, look after yourself so that you can like work on everything around you as well. That's how
and
I
another
see it.
thing is like there's also a common thing like in university, like kids wanting to commit suicide, and so many people don't understand. As Leigh-Ann was like saying, that also when you focus on your academics just alone, that could also just put you at a standstill. Because say for example, I'm just focused on my academics, I want to get good grades, I want to be that child at home that they're going to pride themselves with, but that does not happen like that. So what happens? And you know, in university your parents are paying so much money for you to be here, and then you fail. And when you're failing, that means all that money that they paid for that year goes down the drain. It can affect you mentally, because now you are putting yourself in the shoes of your parents, and you're also what is this called, when you make a decision prior to the decision being made by your parents? It's like you already know what they're gonna say,
the consequences.
Yes. So it's that thing. So that's why for some other kids, they find it like a solution for them to kill themselves, so that they don't have to answer as to why A, B, C, and D happened like that. Because parents sometimes can also be not understanding of the situation, because they want to be like, if you were just there focusing on your books, this wouldn't have happened. But sometimes the books can be tricky. Like, it's very hard to understand certain concepts. I mean, everything is new because you have never done this before. So how also you grasp certain things is not going to be the same as somebody else in class, you know. So those are also like contributing factors that try to make us stagnant, or try to like push kids to a point where they want to commit suicide, because they never understood, and they also never like the journey for them to actually come up and say to you, this is my problem, it's never like received pleasantly. You know, you're always questioned for if as an individual, like, as if people don't make mistakes, because like we do make mistakes, we're not perfect, so we're not going to be perfect at everything. And that's why like so many people find themselves in that predicament, because perfection is always like wanted from them, of which we can't, you know, because that's why also we always put a shield to be people that we're not, because the person that I am in my house is not the same person that I am on campus, and that on its own can be also the contributing factor to me not functioning well in university.
I think it also goes back to where you said about where people do not talk about it, they don't speak out. Because if we speak out about our mental health, and now it's easy for me to say, oh, speak out about your mental health, and then people are like, but I am, and it's not being received well.
Yes.
But I would, with that being said, I would say that it is, like you said, people, we are suffering in silence.
Yeah.
We are suffering in silence.
I think that
that's
the reason for that...
That's a problem in the whole, as a whole, because now if we are suffering in silence, we go to bed
crying,
sad, depressed, stressed.
But I think the real question in the end to that is, how do we even break the silence? How? Because I once was having this conversation with Utami as well, that, you know, there's also this belief in my not belief, but a saying, a famous saying, that a crazy person cannot know that they're crazy. Like when I come to you and I say, Leigh-Ann, I'm depressed, like you're not also gonna take me seriously, because you are the one who's supposed to see a depression in me. I'm not supposed to diagnose myself. So I think that's why the speaking out, people not speaking out, comes from, because when I say this is what I'm suffering from, people don't believe me, because even so many people, yes, some of them on social media, they could be chasing clout or whatnot, but how about you checking up on that person? Why can't you just eliminate this cloud situation on your mind? What if that person is really suffering and this is their way of speaking out? Because there's no formula to say this is how you can address the situation for people to understand. And I hate how we always realize these things at a later stage, when someone really commits suicide but they don't die, and then that's when we know and we want to be there for the person. And it's so sad, it really so sad that it has to get to that point for us to actually see, okay, this person is actually suffering from this and this and that.
Do you it's tough. Do you think there's like you said, I am supposed to see when you are depressed, not like necessarily you telling me, but at times come I say, I'm your classmate or I'm your friend, what if I also don't know the signs of people who are suffering from
that's
depression?
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
It's I'm not gonna say it's hard necessarily. I would just say it's so important then for us as a society, not parents, not students, not children, as a society, to actually start now. We start educating ourselves on mental health. You know, like we all are still learning a lot about it still. I'm learning a lot about I want to say mental health and like everything that falls under it.
What I'm trying to say is that people should allow the person suffering to tell you that this is what I'm suffering from. Because like what I'm trying to say is that the reason why it's hard for people to open up, it's because people feel like I cannot diagnose myself of, you know, depression, of stress, of whatnot. But actually, if we actually think about this thing, I'm the perfect person to diagnose myself of the stress, because I know what I'm going through. I know, okay, this and this and this is what is happening to me. But society makes it seem like they are the ones who are supposed to see you, not you seeing yourself when you are in a situation, you know. That's why I'm saying that we should go back and change the narrative, and not judge the who to know you're just seeking for attention or you're just chasing clout or whatnot. Try to get to the bottom of why did that person get to that point of saying what they said.
I think it's because people, they literally just look at the peripheral things. What you can see what I'm wearing, you can see what Ova's wearing, the way we are like acting and stuff. But sometimes people just they don't look deeper into the situation, or they only take it for what it is, and it's also scary because
True.
now I'm chasing clout.
Yeah.
I'm chasing clout, whatever the case may be, but people are just like, oh no, this honey's chasing clout and stuff like that, or whatever way you use to kind of
diminish the other person,
or just like your cry for help. It's very, there's so many, it's blurred lines. You really don't know anymore if this person needs help. Okay, we all need help, or if this is just their life. It's so, because not everyone, obviously I don't know, but like obviously not everyone is educated on mental health, or like we don't know enough about mental health all the time, and it's our own responsibility that even if I cannot see it in you or you see it in me, there must be some
sort of balance.
We should tip the scale. But when you are in a space where we can see it in each other, but where we actually just like we open up that space to be like, okay,
One huge disclaimer: we're speaking based on our experiences. We are not qualified people that know more about these things. No,
not at
we're
all.
speaking based on our experiences because done with school. So we feel like we have experienced more or less of these things, and we want to share with you guys so that you don't have to bear more or less the same experience. You know how to handle it better.
So some of the causes that can affect my mental health in a positive way could be your coping mechanisms. It can be what you decide to surround yourself with. So if you go to home cell, you take time, play sports, you take time to just focus on yourself spiritually, to uplift yourself. You place yourself in an environment or around friends who you guys are there for each other in a sense of ensuring that we are growing together, like mentally growing, whether you go to study groups or anything, like something that's going to affect your mental health in a positive way.
And for me, I always used to tell people, I remember 2017 when I came to school and I was having a tough because that was like the year that I was also diagnosed with liver condition and whatnot. So like I was really having it tough, and also adjusting to university because as well I had I think it was a 2-year gap before actually coming to university. So you can imagine the adjustment. There's a lot of things I didn't know. I haven't been touching a book for 2 years. So it was just like a lot, like coming to Boston and whatnot. And one thing I used to tell myself was my graduation. I used to tell people about how good I look on my graduation. And I used to tell them how I want a poet to actually, I'm going to go to the what's this? Den Daweti. What is it? What is he on campus?
He is
the vice chancellor. Yes. So I was like, I'm gonna go to the vice chancellor. I'm gonna go there and ask for a slot, so that when they call my name there, then the poet is gonna be like, Daweti. And then my mom like I always had that picture with my dress that had a lot of beads. I think I'm gonna attach that dress from Unomzamumba. Like I've always thought like, this is how my graduation is going to be. So whenever things were not going well, I still even have those pictures on my laptop. I always go back to that picture, and I even have it on a folder called graduation, because that's how like it lightened up my mood. So whenever things were not going well for me, I would use that as a coping mechanism. You need to have like surround yourself with like good friends that are gonna build you, that are gonna help you in terms of getting you back up when you're feeling down. For me, I was lucky to have those friends like when I was about to leave varsity, because when I came to varsity first year, I had a terrible experience with friends, and I told myself, you know what, I'm just gonna be with myself, because I feel like I'm the only person who can satisfy me. So whenever people will try to get close to me, I would always try to avoid that, and it worked out for me, because at the time it was my first time also being exposed to friends, because I'm used to friends at school and that's it, but now they were kind of like my backbone, because my family was not here, no one was here. So I learned how to rely on myself more, and that's not always a bad thing. It just needs you to talk to yourself, because some other people function better when they are in groups and they're with other people. So don't ever feel bad for choosing yourself, because you have to choose yourself every time.
I think that it's basically your friends, or what we're trying to say is just to have a good support structure. And your support structure doesn't necessarily have to include friends in that mix, but preferably friends, because they are the people you're going to be with most of your time, you're going to experience life with as well.
When you find yourself in that situation, what can you do? Because there's a lot of things that you can do. For one, if you're not performing well academically, or you just had a shock of your life, not understanding a concept, not knowing how to write essays, not knowing how to do A, B, C, and D, you can actually go to a student center. I believe every university has a student center that will have like tutors, facilitators that can help you with your experience within like university, or in a certain module, or things like that.
Advisors,
yes, and also if you don't know where the student center is, go for consultation to your lecturers and ask them how they can also help, because they will also refer you to those people. So never feel bad, because you can fail now, but it doesn't mean the next test you're also gonna fail it, because you would have prepared, you would have gone through all these steps that we're talking about. So try to familiarize yourself with like student centers.
Also familiarize yourself with student life in terms of academics. Like she explained it like so great, in terms of coping mechanisms. And I know the one thing I did is to find that activity or that one topic that you are so passionate about, because like when you get to varsity, you will meet like-minded people, you'll meet different kinds of people and have different kinds of experiences. But like I always believe in like pray, ask God to give you directions, so that he also places the right people on your path, so that you don't necessarily go look for them, but you find each other on your journey. And then what I did was like I joined like whether it's just a sub-committee, or I joined like a student society, and the one I joined was the VACO. And in the VACO, the only thing I did was I danced. Yeah, it's
guys, she's gonna teach me moves, guys.
No, but I used that as my coping mechanism, because the moment when we were performing and when we were dancing, it really like I felt so free. We practiced, so it helped with my physical well-being as well. That contributed to a good mental health as well. So to me, it's just finding that activity on campus that you are passionate about it. If you go look like on our campus, within like our student campus council, there's different offices, and like the one office that I was like a part of would be the Council of Societies. And what's gonna work for Ovayo is not gonna work for me, and what's gonna work for me is not gonna work for her. And also to be cognizant of the fact that we also deal with our mental health differently, and everything is not just gonna be doom and gloomy and sad, and varsity is gonna be tough, and like you will also experience like really the best moments of your life, some of the best moments, not everything, but it's also gonna be good. And it's about where you I'm talking so much.
No,
it's like where you place your focus on.
Yeah, true. Like as Leigh-Ann has mentioned, that like what works for me would not necessarily work for her, because as much as she decided to join a society on campus, I was scared of those societies, because I felt like they would require a lot for me. There's a lot of things that I would have to do, and it might derail my academics. And then for me, what I did was I joined like a marketing agency where I was doing like promotions. Also that's how I got into like the brutal food and whatnot. For me, it worked out because like with promotion, you determine your own hours in terms of like working day. It's not like a thing that I have to be there every day from 8 till 4. I'm just making an example. It was a thing of when I am free, that's when I can go for a promotion. And it worked in my favor because as well, I also needed extra money. So I was getting money also in return with what I was doing. And essentially, it was doing something that I love, something that aligns with what I want to do as well. Me, that was what I use as a coping mechanism, and also work, because I also work for a non-profit organization on campus. And also it helps, man. Like, it keeps you busy, because you know that if you are not in class, I'm probably at Salt, and then during the weekend I'm working at the marketing agency, so there's no time actually for me to be feeling depressed about anything, because I know that I need to keep it moving. And also the organizations that you join, or the work that you join, if like it doesn't cater for your academics, that's probably a wrong organization that you're in, because your organization needs to know if you're failing, they're kicking you out. If you're passing, that's you staying. That will also keep you at your feet, because you know if you're not doing well academically, you might even lose this job that you have. So you need to also align yourself with such organizations that would care about your academics, because that's why you're here. You know, you don't want something that's going to distract you from your academics. You're just using that thing
got
as
accepted for our academics.
exactly.
You know?
So if it's an organization like that, then that's a proper organization. But if it does not want your academics, nah, child, sit at home.
Oh, Maya's like the way she's saying that, guys. It's from here, it's from the heart.
You need an organization that's going to be concerned about your academics, and an organization that's going to give you also a certificate to say this is what you have done for us, so that you can produce that to your work, and it can add a value on your CV. So if an organization does not even ask you for your academics, then surely you're not even going to get a certificate to say this is what you have done for those people. So, like, guys, this is very important. If there's anything you should take from this video, this is definitely it, because a lot of new students fall into that trap of joining organizations that will not add value into their academic.
Everything as a whole is also so intertwined.
True.
It's really, 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 you know, there you are trying to focus on your mental health. It's your spiritual health on the one side. You are trying to figure out your academics. It's just also finding a great or a cohesive balance between it all.
This is where we're gonna end off this video for today. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and also share your thoughts, your own mental health journey in university. How did you overcome it? We would love to hear your honest opinions. And again, don't forget to follow Leigh-Ann on all her social media platforms. I'll link her details down in the description box. It's like, she's doing amazing things. And one thing about my classmates, you're gonna see them on TV, on billboards, everywhere.
Yeah, no lie.
Bye.